Hey everybody, welcome to a new Undercover Capes Comic Crusaders special. This is very special indeed because this week we're covering everything from the GeekFest at Home Film Fest. And today we have an awesome guest that's going to be interviewed by one of my fellow Crusaders. But before we get into that, let me show you what we're going to get into. And this is totally amazing. Enjoy, guys, and I'll give you the real intro in a moment.
He flows to tear us all apart. Take that, and that, and that.
Evacuate the civilians. I move first. Take down the beast. Wow!
Folks, isn't that fire? I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, I mean, how could you not dig that? And who we're talking to here is obviously the creative genius behind this short film, Mr. Damon Wellner.
Hey guys.
Up?
Hey.
And as
pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And folks,
thank you.
As you can see, my awesome comic crusader, fellow creator, man. He's also an entrepreneur on his way, mogulpreneur, actually. You know, another one. Mr. P.A. Hayden, what's up, my brother?
How's it going, man? I'm good.
Fantastic. So,
Hi, P.A.
Paul, I'm going to leave this to you right now. Guys, I'm going to step away because if you check out comiccrusaders.com, Paul actually reviewed this awesome movie. We had a blast watching it. So, you know, I'll refer back to that later on. But, guys, you know, have a good time. I'm going to step out, right. Actually.
Thanks again, man. See you in a bit. So again, just really, you know, nice one for joining us on this. I reviewed the film after watching it with Al, and it was so much fun. I enjoy a bit of comedy when I try and do a review on something, and obviously, you know, I'm a geek, but it was such a pleasure to do that one. You know, we all love an Easter egg, and that was just one of the best I've ever seen. So, well, thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
Oh,
no, my pleasure. So for people who haven't seen it, what would you give us a little bit about it if that's cool?
Well, okay. First of all, it's a stop motion animated film made with action figures spanning a range of 40 years plus of my toy collection that I've collected since I was 5 years old.
Right.
And so for me, toy videos have always been a passion of mine. I've been making them for over 20 years. And so this one tells the, as I like to say, comedically tragic backstory of the Star Wars universe's most favorite background extra. Because, you know, as a lot of Star Wars fans and collectors know, Kenner and Hasbro, after Kenner used to make the toys when I was a kid, Hasbro bought them out and started making them again in the 90s, and then just blew it up, and every single character has been made 5 times already by now, practically. Yeah. And so this was almost a joke where they had an online poll asking what character should be made next, and somebody nominated this guy Wilro Hood, who is a background character who runs by in Empire Strikes Back for 1 second, and you never see him again. Don't even know what his deal was. But the reason people noticed him is because he's carrying this little thing, and people my age recognize it as a late night ice cream maker that was sold on late night television infomercials. So it was always this funny thing that sort of maybe caught your eye for a second. It's like, why did he grab the ice cream maker? He had 10 seconds to evacuate, and he grabs his ice cream maker? Okay.
Yeah.
So you know, that was where the spark of the inspiration started, and it was supposed to be just a 30-second sketch, because I always make my videos way too long and go, you know, and my films take a year and a half to make sometimes because they're 30 minutes long. And I was trying to shorten it, trying to make it a quick, like 10-second sketch like Robot Chicken does, where he was supposed to grab his ice cream, or he was supposed to run out the door when the emergency comes, and then he comes back for his ice cream maker, and that's the joke, and that was it. But then I was like, well, why? Why does he grab his ice cream maker? Why? And then so I just kind of kept, you know, riffing on what could have led to this, and so I came up with a reason why emotionally he could not leave without it.
Yeah, for me it was one. I mean, it was hilarious. I loved that, and as you know, when we were watching it, that moment of when you see the clip from Empire Strikes Back, and we all went, "Oh my god!" That we were just shocked. But
well, because it's such a deep cut that most Star Wars fans don't even know who this guy is, but only like the most obscure collector, and that was what I was trying to make this video for, was to reach out to the most obscure collector out there like myself, who would get it, like, and has always wanted to know the backstory of Wilbur Hood. This is who it's really for. But then at the end, for those of people who don't know it, they can catch up at the end.
Oh, for the other thing that I really enjoyed as well, talking about having the figures, was I was doing a need it, got it, need it, got it kind of attitude as I was watching
absolutely. That's what, the Easter eggs in there are for the collectors of the most like hard to find action figures. So you can see them all in there.
The moment where Chewbacca goes, you see him in the background. I still remember thinking, my brother stole my Chewbacca, you know, and I'm nearly 40 and I'm remembering that now, you know. So it's just like, wow.
Well, I'm 48, and that Chewbacca from that is still the one that I had from when I was a kid, because I actually lost it in the backyard, and my mother found it like 10 years later when I was a teenager or whatever, and his bowcaster was still in his hand. So that is my prized possession right there. That Chewbacca is my favorite. He's here
That's
somewhere.
incredible.
But you know, I still have a couple of my toys from when I was a kid, and have expanded it into this whole setup that you see here right there. That's just barely a piece of it.
I wish I'd have kept a lot of mine, but yeah, it was just brilliant seeing them in the background.
Well, that's one of my I like to include as many vintage toys as I possibly can, because even though the new ones are way better and you can make them move and all the, you know, they have all these articulation points that the old toys didn't have, but you know, I still love the classic Kenner.
It's the nostalgia of it as well, isn't it? And I think, you know, watching Hood and you know, looking at the figures, but also all the little pop culture references in there as well. You know, the video games that they were playing and so on and so forth. These, I mean, I don't know if you read the review that I did, but I talk in detail about how much I love Easter eggs. And there were so many little nuggets of just joy in there that I was going, look at that. You know, so you reduced a man in his late 30s to like a you know, hysterical child for a period of time. But no, it's brilliant. I loved every kind of moment of it. So what's kind of next for you then in this? Are you doing anything more Star Wars, or what are you working on next?
Well, always Star Wars. That's basically my go-to. I mean, I like to make sketches with all other different kind of toys, but Star Wars is the, you know, near and dear to me more than anything else. So I will definitely go back to that. I haven't done a whole lot. I've taken a little break because last year from the stop motion, just because last year I took on so many projects. I did a commercial and a music video.
Wow.
And so that's what, you know, if you want to check out other stuff of mine, go to my YouTube channel, YouTube/Probot Video, and PROBOT video.
We'll put a link in it when we put this video out as well. We'll put the links in there for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, my YouTube channel gets kind of lost in the shuffle because I named my company Probot Productions 20+ years ago, and then, you know, 10 years ago or so, Dave Grohl made a super group called Probot, and I don't know if he named it after the same toy that I named it after, but I named it after a Star Wars toy. The probe droid was called the Probot back in when I was a kid, and you know, so that's what it was named after. But now he names his rock band, you know, good for him, great band and all, but you know, my my videos end up getting lost in the shuffle. But yes, I made a music video for a band called Low Octane, which
Wow.
is probably the biggest project I ever did. It's all original characters. It's these custom figures that we had made to tell a superhero, supervillain story that is pretty fun and cool. Yeah, so that was the biggest project of last year, and I needed a little break after that. So
Yeah, I bet, because obviously I'm assuming it's, you know, I know parts about, you know, stop motion, but it's got to be all, I wouldn't have the patience. It's got to be all hell time consuming.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish I could like think of a, you know, these shorter projects, because I see so many guys who are so amazing making toy videos these days, and they're just like 10-second battles between so and so and so and so, and they're amazing, and they're made on their phones and stuff, and I'm so jealous of these guys in some ways, that are able to just sort of crank out material weekly, because I end up having an idea, it takes me months to produce, and you know, it always ends up blowing up way bigger than I intended it to, and taking way longer, and you know, I'm happy with it in the end, but
Yeah.
you know, it ends up taking all this time that so I've never been able to crank out enough material to get as big of a following as I would prefer to have. Excuse me.
Well, that's right. I think it's well worth the wait, though, isn't it? I mean, because I've watched some of your other videos. So I've watched the Black Widow and the paparazzi one.
Oh yeah,
Watched
that one. That one was fun, because I am actually a paparazzo part time, so you know, I've had some encounters with Scarlett, but and she basically acts in that similar way. She doesn't beat everybody up, but
yeah,
that's what I'm sure she would like to do.
yeah. And then I watched your Batman and Robin one as well, which was really, really good. I really enjoyed that one as well. When they were scaling the walls, and then Rocky Balboa kind of pops his head out. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
I try to do different things with different, you know, the different kinds of figures that I have, and that one was a tip of the hat to the old TV show.
Yeah,
using real audio, some real audio, and some other stuff.
Again, though, it's, you know, it's extremely clever. You say obviously it's going to take you longer, but I think the finished article, I mean, you know, Hood is proof of that. You know, they're kind of much on a kind of grander scale of things. So it's great to churn stuff out, but I think if you've got a passion for something, then it shows in the finished article.
Well, yeah, but the fun thing about the way that I do things, and the way that Hood was actually made, like I said, it was supposed to be this 30-second sketch, but it blew up into the 6.5-minute story, because I kept having new ideas, and I never wrote anything down. I never really had a script. I never had storyboards. I just had ideas in my head of what I wanted to do, and all I really needed was to have everything go completely chaos at the end, because it's all a flashback. They're just crazier and crazier and crazier until we are zapped back to reality. So it didn't really matter how that plot played out, as long as it ended up in total chaos. So I just kept having new ideas. Well, what if, you know, the Rancor gets loose or whatever, but what if it all takes place in a zoo? So, you know, what if the clones come in to try to rescue people? What if other animals get out of their cages? You know, all these ideas kept coming to me, and I was like, well, I'll try that, I'll try that, I'll try that, and it all just kind of sort of worked. But even certain effects and stuff, I had no idea how I was going to accomplish certain things. I just had an idea in my head, and I would try something, and then, oh, that worked. Okay, move on to the next thing.
No,
so I mean, because other people, when they do fan films, they have to organize a cast, they have to get everybody in makeup, they have to feed everybody, they need a crew. I do it all. I'm my crew, and I'm half of my cast. So you know, it frees me up to kind of just go where the ideas take me.
Yeah, which is brilliant. I did watch your behind the scenes of Hood as well, because obviously it's interesting for me because it's one of those things where we watch it, and I don't think until we see how it's done, we don't fully appreciate it for what it is. It's like watching a cartoon. You laugh and you joke, but until you see those pages going together or how it's done, you don't appreciate the magic of it, I don't think.
Yeah, well, that's part of the fun in it for me too, is just to be able to do basically all the departments and build the sets and light them and, you know, shoot it and do a little acting too. And,
Yeah.
you know, um, and I let my actors improvise and things like that. You know, it's fun. You know, filmmaking is a real fun collaborative effort, but anyway, I
No,
collaborate with
no.
myself in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, that's wicked. I know what you mean though about saying that your ideas kind of take you X, Y, and Z because I do writing myself and I script for screen and for comics.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
But my
writing
brain,
is the hardest, man.
oh, I love it and hate it in equal measure. But you know, your brain kind of goes, I'm going to go this way with it, and then all of a sudden it kind of goes, I'm going to go
Mm.
all of these ways. And I imagine that would be the same when you're making something like Hood. You've got, like you say, your 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden all these great ideas kind of pop in.
But then again, that's another reason why I love working with toys, because a lot of times, you know, you write the scene ahead of time, but then you can also kind of go back and fix things like they did with the old Popeye film. They would ad lib the dialogue sometimes. They, you know, they would add the dialogue later, so the actor would be able to ad lib in the moment. And you know, I allowed my actors to do the same thing. So that actually ended up with a couple of the best parts for me, because the actor, you know, did something that I didn't expect, and I was like, oh man,
Oh, no, that's
that was
cool.
good.
No, that's wicked. So at the moment, then, are you taking your break and coming back with something else, or have you got something planned?
Well, you know, I actually don't have a project right now. I'm sort of in a sort of promotional mode and
Yeah,
try to like make the most of everything that I did last year. And you know, my year was supposed to be traveling around to these different conventions with the Geek Fest. I was so excited to be part of this Geek
yeah,
Fest,
of
but then
course.
with the pandemic, you know, it everything got canceled. All the different we only had one. We had one um actual convention in Long Beach, and we did win best fan film during that one. So
Congratulations.
I
Well done.
have big hopes for this next weekend. I need everybody to vote and everybody to, you know, watch all the films, because there's a
You've
lot of
definitely
great
got mine.
competition there too. But
Oh, definitely. You've definitely got my vote, 100%. I'll be promoting the hell out of it.
well, thanks.
No, no, my pleasure, my pleasure. So is it that things would be, you know, because obviously I've got some Comic Cons that I'm going to go to because they've been postponed here. Is it something where you can kind of elongate it into next year and think, well, I can look at this and I can do this instead, or?
I hope so. I mean, I think right now everybody's life is a little bit on hold. I'm just sort of hold. My main project is getting all my action figures standing up at the same time. Basically, at this point, that's like my main priority of life, is just like get my apartment sorted.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no,
we'll see what
no,
happens in 2021. If I have a job, if I have my life, if you know, if I have my health, we'll see what happens.
no,
You know, I think
that's
anybody. I'm just sort of happy day by day that I have what I have. You know, I've had a fun time
yeah.
in life, and everything that happens beyond this point is bonus.
Well, if this weekend people can watch the film as well for GeekFest, and they can vote. So what we'll do, you know, obviously we'll give it a big kind of push and promotion. I will just bear with me just 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, it's my show now.
But I'm here, so
There
no
we go.
worries, because I'm standing in the background, just in case anything ever happened like this. So yeah, as Paul had mentioned, you know, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, GeekFest FilmFest at home Comic Con is this weekend. It's going to be
There you go.
amazing. No worries, Paul. I told you, I'm the man in the chair. I got everybody here.
My
You know?
internet just completely dropped out. It was just flashing up on my screen and then went, sorry about that, Damon.
No problem.
But no worries. Damon thought he was hosting by himself. He was about to start going through his collection, you know. But no, actually, you know, thank you again. Definitely, please, everybody, visit the ItsAShort website this weekend. You know, the link is right on screen.
Yeah.
bit.ly/geek-fest. It's this weekend for $2.99. You get to see a hella amount of amazing independent movies created by people as creative as Damon here. You know, but you know, I'm not trying to show favoritism here, but you know where my vote going. So
Thanks, guys.
Paul, great job. Damon, thank you again. We definitely are going to share all the links. And again, people visit Damon on Instagram at Probot. Those are not O's, those are zeros. But on YouTube, those are O's. So on YouTube, go visit him there.
I know, I'm just a mess with my branding, and I apologize for that. But
I'll chuck a link out when we finish there. I'll chuck it through my Twitter as well.
Absolutely. And there we go. Family, thanks for joining us. And again, remember to tune in this weekend to the GeekFest FilmFest at Home Film Fest, powered by Comic Crusaders and ItsAShort. Hey, kitty. Awesome. Look at that. He's got everybody showing it. When is the cat going to make an appearance in one of your films?
actually, they have made appearances in some of my other films.
Awesome. Look at that. That was a superstar right there. Please send me a paw print as an autograph when you have a chance. All right. So with that, again, I'm Al Mega with the awesome Paul that did a fantastic job with the interview and the amazingly talented Damon Wellner. Again, thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Tune in GeekFest this weekend. Wepa! Let's do
Thanks
it up.
to Bill. Thanks to Bill from
A
GeekFest.
shout out
Really
to Bill
appreciate
O,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Bill O from GeekFest, man. He's the man. Again, make
I
sure to
mean-
follow GeekFest everywhere because they rock. All right. And
Yeah,
actually,
I just want to say since everything got canceled, Bill had to really pull out all the stops and figure out a way to bring the films to people. So and thank you for making it happen, because without you guys, the whole year would have been lost.
no, I get it. And actually, you reminded me. This is what we got to show here, people. This is what's happening. It's this weekend. There goes the link. When you see ItsAShort GeekFest at Home Comic Con, it is official. All right. So make sure to visit them this weekend. It's going to be hella fun. And again, thank you for your time, guys. Much love. Hasta la
Thank you.
próxima.
Cheers, Damon. Thank you.